Okay, welcome to week 1 of Race, Class, and Gender. Before we begin, I want to set up some working agreements. Working agreements are a sort of set of ground rules for all of us to follow, so we all have a good experience with this class. The first agreement is be brave. I know we're often hesitant to speak up for fear of looking foolish, and it's even worse when we're dealing with potentially sensitive subjects like we'll be discussing in this semester. Really, though, this just holds us back. We learn best from our mistakes. Unless it's an exam, you aren't going to be punished for a wrong answer. This also requires those of us listening to withhold judgment. We're all coming from a wide range of backgrounds and experiences, and we all have things to learn. Try to value everyone's perspective, even if you disagree with it. When we do disagree, be respectful. It is absolutely possible that some of our conversations can make you upset, hurt, or angry. We need to try and keep our conversations civil, though. A good rule of thumb is to use I statements. I was hurt when you said this, or I felt very angry when I heard you talk about that in that way. Finally, we want to keep our personal stories confidential. You are welcome to share anything I talk about, or anything you learn from the readings or videos. But we want to keep everyone else's stories private. Even if you don't say the name of the person, you don't know what details could identify them to someone else. What happens in class stays in class. So, bit of the course overview, what the requirements are for the class. So, first requirement, 50% is going to be engagement. This is primarily going to be the discussion board. You will have every week about one question and at least 2 responses that are required. And what I really want here is thoughtful posts, particularly when it comes to answers. I know it's really easy to just go in and say I agree or you have a really good point, but I want you to elaborate. Why do you agree? Why is it a good point? You don't have to write an entire essay, but it should be more than like 2 or 3 sentences. There will be reading quizzes. You'll have one pretty much every week, and that's 20% of your grade. We'll have a midterm, 10%, that'll be online. You'll have a short essay that'll be due 1st of November. You'll have an integrated learning assignment. The idea of the integrated learning assignment is to try and gather all the knowledge you've ingested this semester and show how you apply it. And then finally, we'll have a final exam. The midterm and the final exam are both going to be online. So what I'm going to do is give you a window when you can take them. But once you start the exam, you'll have a limited amount of time to actually complete it. A note about the quizzes. You are allowed to take these as many times as you want. If you want to take it 20 times, you can take it 20 times. But the last time you take it, whatever grade you get, that is the grade that's going to be recorded. I'm going to post weekly checklists for what you'll need to do. You're welcome to do these in whatever order you want, but I'm going to suggest this order. Lectures, which are going to be videos, they will be YouTube playlists. They will be a combination of lectures that I'm recording and videos done by other people, in part because sometimes there are people who explain things better than I do, but also it gets a little old listening to just my voice, so we'll try and mix it up a little bit. I'm also going to try and keep the lectures somewhat brief because I want more of our time to be spent using the discussion boards and talking about what we're learning, rather than just listening to me talk at you. You'll have readings every week. It'll usually be 4 chapters from our book. We'll have the discussion boards. 1 question, 2 posts minimum. There's probably going to be times where we do a little more. Keep checking back. Have a reading quiz every week. And then we're going to have some voluntary chat sessions. These aren't going to be required. The idea behind these is to have a time where we can get together and kind of casually talk about what the topic of the week is, what might be going on out in the world, how do you apply what we've been learning to what we're reading. It's a good time to ask questions. These aren't going to be really highly structured, they're going to be fairly loose. And as I said, they're not required, but I really strongly encourage you to come to these. When I have done these in the past, people have found them really valuable and kind of fun. I will send out a doodle poll sometime in the first week so we can set up a time for this. We will not have a chat session during the first week because of that. And finally, some important dates. Your midterm will be October 19th. Like I said, your short essay will be due November 1st. Your ILA will be due December 6th, and then your final exam will be sometime during the week of December 14th. And finally, course expectations. What we're hoping for you to get out of this course. You should be able to understand the concepts of race, class, gender, and sexuality, what those identities are, and what they mean. Identify the ways that systems of oppression function in U.S. society. And be able to link these understandings of gender, race, class to actions that promote change and equity throughout local systems and larger systems. But what I really, really want you to get out of this, I'm not here to try and change your mind. What I want for you to be is a critical thinker. I want you to hear something on the news that makes you go, is that the entire story? I want you to hear something come up, an event happen, and you wonder, have some context for why that happened. Okay, our next video is going to be on identity, and I will see you there.